If you like what you're hearing on the phillytech.org Netcast network, please consider supporting the network with a small monthly donation via patreon.com/phillytechorg. That's patreon.com/PHILLYTECHORG. And thank you in advance.
You're listening to the Nutrition Philly podcast with your host, Brittany Kennedy, on the phillytech.org Netcast network.
All right,
Live.
so perfect.
I'll have to add at the beginning a little bit, but we're live.
Okay. All right, welcome everyone to the Nutrition Philly podcast. This is episode number 2. Episode number 1 was Seth, interviewing me and kind of giving you an idea of what we're going to do on the podcast and kind of give you an idea of who I was going to bring on and what we're going to talk about. But today, I'm really excited. I have my girl Chelsey here with us. Chelsey is the owner of Figo. She's an awesome girl. She's personal trainer, Italian chef, kicks total butt. But she's here to answer a couple questions I had about just like healthy cooking and just like easy fitness tips that I think a lot of us kind of think about a lot but never really get the full scoop on. So say hello, Chelsey. Give us an idea of what you do. Tell us about Figo.
Hey guys, my name is Chelsey Pagana. My nickname is Peanut. And I started Figo a couple years ago. I think it's been about 3 years. With the intention to inspire people to live a healthy lifestyle in regards to food and fitness. I've been a personal trainer now for, I think, about 9 years. It's going on. Started back the days of Penn State, where actually I met Brittany.
Yeah, side note, Chelsey and I met at Penn State. We are.
Yeah.
We are. So that's where we met. So backstory, both met there, kind of. I was a nutrition science major. Chelsey was getting her fitness on, and that's where we met. So.
Yeah, we probably did meet at like a drinking party, I would say. But we're big kids now, and we're all grown up, and we don't do that anymore. So
no, never,
ever. So anywho, I started out with some personal training and group fitness instruction. Majored in exercise science. I was on the Penn State boxing team in college, so I have a athletic background. And then I decided to go to culinary school. I lived abroad in Italy for about 6 months.
Nice.
And studied Italian food. It was life-changing. I just really saw the way that Italians live their lives every day. They live, they move, they're active, they're stress-free. I think they probably sleep a hell of a lot more than we do, probably because they don't work quite as much. That's what I got from being
Amen to that, yeah.
We're overworked here in the States. And they just eat really fresh. They do eat, carbohydrates and, pasta every once in a while, but everything's portioned out. And I think that's one of the biggest things that we lack here in the States. So just kind of trying to bring a lifestyle perspective, back to the United States here. And, connecting with you, Brittany, has just been an amazing journey thus far. And let's change the world. Boom!
Woo! Yeah, so the big thing I love about Chelsey is that she's super peppy, and she's really down to earth with a lot of her clients, as you can see. She doesn't take herself too seriously, which I feel like a lot of people in the health and wellness industry take themselves a little too seriously, and just have to bring yourself back down to your client's level, because that's who you're working for, and that's who you're trying to help.
I really, truly believe, you have these extremists out there, especially in the workout world and nutrition. I'm sure you see it too.
Yeah.
That, they're making chicken, which was something maybe we might talk about later. They're making,
we're talking about it.
Chicken that's dry, absolutely disgusting. They're eating that for multiple meals a day. They're spending, 3-4 hours in the gym. Guess what? Ain't nobody got time for that. So we're going to do how to kick it and be efficient with your time and just enjoy life.
Yeah, ain't nobody got time for that. So, what I really love about Chelsey too is that she approaches her business and her clients in a lot of the same way that I do, which is what I love about you, Chelsey, is that she's just very realistic, and just looks at things the way that the world really is, and doesn't try, like you said, to be that like crazy nut job who goes to the gym like 7 days a week and is there for 3 or 4 hours at a time. Because that's the biggest thing my clients say to me when I first talk to them. They're like, is there a workout component to this? Do I have to work out? I'm like, well, no, you don't have to, but it's probably good to be a little bit active. Which I think
forever. Start working out, dude.
Start working out. Yeah. You don't have to be crazy, but just get moving.
Yep.
So I sent Chelsey a couple questions because obviously she's the chef here, not me. And if anyone knows me or eats at my house, they know that I don't cook very well. So that's why I send them all to Chelsey. I say, watch her videos. She's the girl. So my first question that I had for Chelsey, which a lot of people ask all the time, and like you were saying with your chicken, is that people say that healthy cooking does not taste good all the time. They say, oh, I can't. Yeah, they're 100% wrong. So they're like, oh, I can't eat healthy because it doesn't taste good. So my question to you, to help anyone watching, is if you could pick 3 things to season any dish with, or the 3 things that you find that you season most dishes with, what would it be? Or how can we cook in a healthy way that doesn't taste like crap?
All right. So maybe instead of giving you like 3 seasonings, can I give you maybe 3 methods that I think that can taste good?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first one, absolutely yes, is with seasoning your food. We don't have to get crazy with fats and whatnot, even though don't be afraid of fat. Extra olive oil, coconut oil, those things have amazing benefits for your heart and for your skin, and they're very, very satiating. So don't necessarily be afraid of them. But, you can use fresh herbs. You can use, some seasonings, little spice, to help season your food. Garlic is a really good one, also good for the heart. So I'm a big fan of marinating food ahead of time. And then cooking it, whether it be roasting, grilling, whatever. But I always season things ahead of time.
So when you say marinating, because like I said, I'm not good at this. So what's your ideal amount of time to marinate a meat? Are you thinking like overnight or like 2 hours?
All right, not necessarily overnight. I mean, I think that's something our brains can't even process ahead of time. If you think about it early the day, the night before, go for it. You're a rock star, good work. But honestly, the minimal you need is just 20 minutes to marinate. Of course, it's going to taste good if you marinate it a little bit longer, like your chicken, and you leave it in the fridge for a few hours. But if you really are actually limited for time before you put it on the grill, honestly, 20 minutes should be kind of that quick, minimalistic trick, I guess.
Nice, gotcha. Okay, yeah, because that's also the big thing. And I'm glad you brought that up. Is that people don't think about it, right? So like I have clients all the time who are like, I came home and my chicken was frozen and I had to eat a can of tuna.
Yep.
I'm like, oh,
so true. Right now, actually, I am de-thawing. Is that a word? De-thaw? Yeah. Not de-thaw. Yeah.
Unfreeze.
Unfreeze. Yeah. De-thaw. I'm thawing, not
de-thaw.
Some chicken thighs, and they're kind of, some people, they say that you should keep them, in the refrigerator for a day to thaw out. We'll usually put it in the sink with some kind of like mediocre lukewarm water, and it's good by dinner time. So you do have to think ahead in that sense if you're coming from a freezer standpoint. And exactly like you said, it is challenging, but if you just at least have 20 minutes, you are going to get some decent flavor in your food. Maybe not as much for, that couple hours or overnight, but it will do the trick, very well as well. So.
Gotcha. Cool. Okay. So then to wrap that up, to summarize, best ways to make your food not taste like crap.
Yep. Well,
season it.
Yep.
Marinate it. And
well, it was more about, I guess, just the seasoning in general. The next one I was going to go with is the cooking process that you use.
Go for it.
So obviously throwing your food on the grill, you're going to get that amazing kind of like charcoaly taste to your food. So, like we said, marinating it and then throwing it on the grill. I love that taste, especially in the summertime, even through into the fall. So, instead of, say, like boiling food or, or steaming, throw like some vegetables on the grill. Tastes so good, and you still get the health benefits. I think the last thing that I was going to say is staying in season with your food. So if you're talking about produce like fruits and vegetables, right now root vegetables are banging. Butternut squash, parsnips, turnips. What else are we having right now? Some zucchini. Green beans are still good right now. Buying foods when they're in season, you're going to get that full flavor instead of buying it out of season. For instance, a lot of people know that asparagus is extremely healthy. People that are health nuts are eating asparagus all year round, when in actuality, you'd really only be eating asparagus in the springtime, stopping at about June, because that's its prime time season, and you're going to get the best flavor from an asparagus. So.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, because a lot of times, you're right, people will pick foods that are out of season, and then they're like, oh, this tastes horrible. Like, the big thing is fruit, right? Because in the winter, fruit's so hard to find, and if you do find it, you don't know where it's coming from. So, yeah. So I think staying in season is really good. And speaking of seasonal vegetables, your recipe for the butternut squash soup, the jalapeno, whatever that you call it, my clients love it.
Banger.
I've had like 2 people make it, and I had another girl this morning. She was like, so I went out and got your girl Chelsey's stuff to make that soup, and she was like, I can't wait.
Yeah,
so
that is so nice for fall, and with all the vegetables, all the squash in it, it's really fibrous, and it was so funny. We were eating it, and we were actually sipping a little cocktail with it as well. My apple cider sangria, another recipe on my videos. And my brother had mentioned, we just put a little Parmigiano cheese on it, and then some, roasted nuts. And he had said, he's like, I swear it feels like it's expanding in my stomach because of how fibrous, the fruit is. And it's in season, and it's ripe. Good stuff. So, cooking in season is huge, and, choose some good, healthy, fibrous produce.
Yeah, and just for anyone who's watching / listening, the more fiber that's in your food, the fuller you're going to feel. Fiber slows down the digestion of everything else that you eat with it. So the more fiber that's in your food, the longer it takes to digest. So the fuller you're going to feel. So if you're packing your meals full of high fiber foods and beans and, like you said, the squash, things like that, you're going to stay fuller much longer, and that's going to keep people from overeating, for one, and 2, eating things that you really shouldn't be eating. That when you have a meal that's not very high in fiber, then you find yourself an hour later in the pantry. Right? Yeah.
Definitely. And keeps you going, a little more regular to the restroom, which I think we all need. So.
Yeah, we all need that. Americans do not get enough fiber. Amen to that. So we need to get that in there.
Nice little tangent, but I think it is much needed information for the viewers out there.
Oh yeah, big time. Awesome. Cool. Okay, so I think we've covered how to not make your food taste like crap.
Yep.
Good stuff. Okay, so on the same line, I sent Chelsey this lovely question about chicken, because whenever someone comes to me and they start wanting to lose weight or eat healthy, they're like, okay, do I have to eat chicken and broccoli every day? And I'm like, no, absolutely not. But then they get stuck eating chicken every day, because chicken's obviously, I think, the most readily available meat in the grocery store. Sometimes it's questionable too, but, whatever. But most people buy chicken. And then the biggest thing I hear all the time is that my chicken tastes the same. All my chicken tastes the same. This is so boring. So I asked Chelsey to give us an idea of some really easy but quick ways to make your chicken not taste like crap.
Yep.
Yeah.
Boom. Let me just start off by telling a nice little story about that. I have a roommate from living in New York City. You know exactly who you are if you're going to be watching this. I love you, babe, but I always come down on her for this. She there every night for dinner. She would boil her chicken in water and just eat chicken with, a big of ketchup, to add her, flavor to the chicken, and then eat exactly what you said, like some steamed broccoli on the side. And I would just sit there and just cringe. So yeah, that's just not fun for anybody. So, a couple recommendations I have are, buying a whole chicken in the beginning of the week. First of all, you'll save money that way. It costs store to have the butcher take off all the fat for you, buying that skinny chicken breast. Yes, it's great. It's good if you're looking for something quick, but I think the most efficient thing to do is to buy a whole chicken breast in the beginning of the week. I actually have a nice recipe on my blog for how to, the perfectly roasted chicken. You roast it on, say, a Sunday or a Monday, whatever your food prep day is of the week, and you keep it in the refrigerator, and you kind of pull off of that chicken, and you throw it on top of a salad, a nice like fall season salad throughout the week, and you got, mixing it up, mixing up your meals, but adding good protein. So.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. There's a couple of things that you said that I think are good to kind of touch back on. One, whenever your food prep day is when you should be doing this.
Yes.
People, if you don't have a food prep day, you need to pick one.
Yeah.
You need to pick one. And I'm not saying that you have to prep 100% of all of your food, because that's not realistic either. You know what I mean? Like, things change, schedules change, but there needs to be a day of the week where you sit down and say, okay, I'm going to go to the grocery store on X day, and I'm going to get pretty much everything I need, and then I'm going to come home and try to cook a lot of it. Because it just saves on time, and then it just keeps, like you said, you can cook a whole chicken in one day.
Yep.
Sundays are usually the best food prep day, I tell people, especially right now, because no one goes anywhere on Sundays. Everyone's watching football.
Yep.
Throw the chicken in.
It takes an hour to roast a chicken, honestly.
That's it?
That's it. Depending on the size of your chicken, if you have a bigger chicken, it might take an hour and 15 minutes. But honestly, if you have a thermometer, you just kind of keep checking on it. But the average is about an hour. All I do is just buy, I try to buy a good quality chicken, no pumped hormones in there, organic whenever possible, free range. I'll rub that chicken down with a little bit of olive oil. We're going there. Put a little chopped rosemary, some parsley, a little bit of chopped garlic, all that together, a little fresh cracked pepper, even a little bit of salt. Don't be afraid of salt. It really, flavors your food, and it helps keep the moisture. It brings the moisture out of your food, and it makes food taste good. So, and all you do, pop it in the oven, and just keep checking on it. So.
Perfect. So that is your chicken tip of the week.
Tip of the week. I also have a beer can roasted chicken, which is on my 4th of July episode. That is a super fun one. Now, that takes a little bit longer, but man, that is so much fun for summer. Even now into the fall, if if it's a nice day, throw that chicken on the grill. You can kind of forget about it for a little bit, and then you got nice crisp outside and then moist inside. So.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to get a good show, watch that 4th of July episode. Chelsey may or may not have on, like, Murica spandex pants, and there's some sparklers involved.
There's some sparklers involved, and maybe a little spread eagle. Woo!
Yes, there was that. So that's a good episode, speaking of cooking an entire chicken. Yeah. So if you need a visual, check out that one.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so now we all know how to cook our chicken. It's funny because I think most people are afraid to buy the whole chicken. That's like the biggest thing I hear.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel sometimes. I think I do like half and half. Sometimes I'll buy the whole chicken, sometimes I won't. But
I'm the same way. I told you I just bought chicken thighs. Yeah. It can be intimidating. Looking at the whole chicken, you're like, what the hell am I going to do with this? But honestly, keeping it really simple, a few simple ingredients will make that chicken taste amazeballs. And I mean, like I said, it's more cost efficient. If you don't want the skin on there, you take the skin off,
Yeah. Perfect.
Cool.
Sweet. So I have one more question for Chelsey today, which kind of goes back to her like fitness side, right? So you and I both know that the more active you are, the more food you need to eat, right? And this is because body's burning off more energy. You need to support those metabolic activities and eat more food. But no one really wants to hear the science behind it, or at least when I try to tell them, they act like they're listening, but they're not. I know you're not listening, guys. And you know they're not listening.
Right.
Yeah. But if you could give a very concise reason from a fitness aspect as to why people should be eating more food when they work out, what would it be?
Yeah, my fiance and I were actually talking about this. He's really into fitness. He's a sports medicine physician. So it's pretty cool, actually, because him and I kind of motivate each other, in regards to healthy eating and, exercising. So that's something good. Have a side note, have a little, support and workout buddy. But we were talking about basal metabolic rate today. Just talking about basal metabolic rate with my fiance.
Just hanging out, chatting about your BMR.
Right.
Yeah.
No doubt. Romantic, I know. So basically what happens when you exercise, you're increasing your metabolism, which means what Brittany had said, your basal metabolic rate is going up. And that happens kind of over time. So what you need to do is kind of counteract that, and you need to be actually ingesting more calories because you're just going to feel lethargic. You're going to feel like crap. You're at a greater chance of injury for your workouts if you're not getting the proper nutrition to fuel your body. Now, there's a whole concept. I follow some people online. There's a physician I follow. He kind of talks about this like balance of if you're going to work out more, then you need to eat more. And then he also talks about, all right, if you want to scale it down and you want to, cut your calories, then you actually have to work out less. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense because I have clients who try to go 180 at the gym and then they can't lose any weight and they don't understand why. They're like, I'm working out all the time, I'm not losing any weight, I don't understand. And then, I'll convince them for a week to not go to the gym like a crazy person, maybe 3 times instead of 7.
Right.
And all of a sudden they start losing weight.
Yes.
And it's like you can't do both.
Yep.
You have to give your body a nice middle point.
Yeah. What I actually like to do, some people kind of take this as a day in and day out thing where if you're going to, work out, your hard workouts are, let's pretend like they're Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Then you get as kind of a treat even, you get to eat a little bit more. I'm not talking Twinkies and chips and things that are empty calories. I'm talking whole grains, high quality protein, good quality fats. But you're ingesting more calories on those days. And then, on your, say, more low-key chill days of working out, whether it be a hike or a little jog or a walk or an easy bike ride, you're ingesting less calories in on those days. So you're kind of, let's pretend like it's eating interval training, so.
I like that. Yeah. Yeah, and that's a big thing I try to push to clients is that when they have those big, heavy workout days, I'm like, you need to eat more food. Because what happens is if they don't, then the next day they're starving.
Yes.
And then they end up overeating the next day. And they end up eating things like Twinkies.
Right.
Because nobody wants to eat, 5 servings of rice when they could have ice cream. Or at least I wouldn't.
Right.
So, but I think that's a really good point. And I think that's an easy way for people to think about it is that your eating is like interval training. You're like eating intervals.
Yes.
Days you're really active, eat a little bit more food. Days you're not quite as active, bump that down a tiny bit. And then long term, that's going to help your body kind of catch up, and then you'll slowly start losing weight again. But I'm trying to preach to my clients. They know who they are when they're watching this. I'm trying to go to the gym 7 days a week. Nobody wants to do that.
Anybody got time for that?
No. No. But speaking of...
I was going to say, while I do take it as a day-to-day thing, also think of it as a concept. And this is for people that kind of plan things out in advance a lot more. I know for me, I kind of go by seasons as well. In the wintertime, I really like to bump up my weight training because, you can't, unfortunately, you can't be outside. So I'm doing heavy weight training, doing some sprints on the treadmill, and I'm definitely eating a lot more during those winter months, like hibernation, I guess we call it.
Yeah.
In the summertime, I don't think I'm burning quite as many calories. I'm doing more, simple cardio workouts that aren't going to increase the basal metabolic rate a lot, but things as hiking, easy bike rides, and so I just kind of try to eat less during the summertime. So
yeah,
as an example.
Makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, thanks, Chelsey. In the sake of time, I think we will wrap it up, right? But wanted to thank you for coming on today because I love Chelsey. Check her out. What's your website? Shout it out.
www.FigoFresh.com. FigoFresh.com.
Yeah, great website. Has a ton of awesome videos. Even if you don't want to get any cooking tips, watch them because I think they're funny. I just get a kick out of them. They're awesome. But there are a lot of great tips.
get a kick out of my skills, not going to lie.
Yeah, I love them. So check her out. Obviously, check me out. onpoint-nutrition.com. All virtual weight loss. So if you want, you can jump on the bandwagon with both of us.
Yeah.
Jump on with Chelsey and jump on with me too.
And maybe Penn State style, we'll have to bring in some shots and squats. I don't know.
Shots and squats. Shots and
Right.
squats. We'll have to get on that.
Yeah.
But
Former episode, mind you, but check that one out. So
check that one out. Sweet. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you, Chelsey, for coming on today. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We will be back in 2 weeks. And 2 weeks, I'm going to have my man, Steven, on. My first client ever. You know Steven.
Yeah.
Yeah, lost a ton of weight, super active now, looks like a whole new person. So he's going to be on kind of telling his story, which will be pretty cool. So thanks, guys. Have a good week, and see you next time.
All right.